with no canvas. Subscribe right now.
And I feel as though, as the artist or the videographer, I have to have some injection into it because it has to have meaning and purpose, or I wouldn't want to do it in the first place. So I'm glad we're leaving it unedited, and I'm going to put some more up. It makes them long, but a lot of people these days, instead of watching TV and wasting their time with all the crap that's on TV, a lot of times people are making YouTube their TV. They'll go somewhere, they'll spend an hour or two. You watch an hour or two of TV, you don't think nothing of it. Watch some stupid game show or something that has no merit whatsoever. You don't think nothing of it. So if we do have an unedited, raw footage video that's 2 hours, and you're interested in seeing what it was like, pretending you're spending a day in the life again, or for the first time, maybe you're not even out of this school or whatever, you didn't have an experience like this, then the unedited version is probably the best solution. So that's probably the way we're gonna go about some of these videos, even though they get long. I'll have to break this video into probably 8 sections or so to get it all on there, because you can only have 10 minutes at a time. So now this guy's wearing a religious shirt. I personally am religious, but one thing you don't encounter very often in art school is religion. I didn't really find that many people expressed it in their artwork. I think that maybe they probably had it in their minds, maybe some of them did, or whatever, but it didn't really come up. And I guess one thing people didn't want to do is block themselves or box themselves in at this time in their lives. They wanted to be able to be freely expressing. So even someone that has something religious to say, like I would, from a child even, just went there and was there to learn. I wasn't there to teach. I was just there to absorb. That's it. And that's what we were all there for. And if I started blathing off my mouth about what I thought I knew and what my point of view was on everything, I'd be focusing on that rather than on learning. So at the time, I guess I kind of felt guilty because I was just going along for the ride. And I thought, like, well, when am I supposed to say what I have to say? When am I supposed to, isn't that what my art is for? But the art at that time was so much, even though it was creative, it was still so much about learning. And I didn't have a voice, like I had said in some of these other videos. My roommates, especially on the video and everything, they had the voice. If you knew me, you knew I had a voice. I had things to say. But in public or on camera like this, no, not so much. So when does my art start? When does my art start to be developed? Well, guess what? It gets this far along before it becomes anything that expresses anything. And so much of what I am is an observer. A commenter, sure, observer. But so much of art that we were learning back in school there was about coloring your world, or finding a skewed point of view to share, or jolting someone else awake, or showing a uniqueness that no one else could show, or something like that. Well, I didn't feel that I was ready to make any of those statements. I kind of just was observing the world and documenting, and really not ready to make a statement yet, necessarily. And I can see now why I was like that, because I've got a lot more to say now. I've got a lot more to say. I've learned so much, but I'm a slow learner. I guess I'm not a slow learner, but I wanted to learn a lot before I opened my mouth. And like Woody Allen says, 95% of life is just showing up, And that's what I did. I showed up. And I applied myself. I flexed my creative muscles and things like that. But I didn't make any statements that shook mankind. So much of everything that we see is really not that significant, probably, in some ways. Or not as significant as we are perceiving it to be. I remember when I was immersed in all this at the time, I thought, oh, this is more than I can comprehend right now. Now I'm looking back at it, it's not more than you can comprehend. It's just that you're never going to know all the ins and outs of what everybody's thinking and everything. But look at how simple the world was then compared to the world now. So, part of my artistic statement, it was just to keep my mouth shut until I had something to say. Until I could just kind of like put it in perspective somehow, at least for myself. Now, everybody else is going to see these types of things and listen to anything that I even say, and they're going to, I won't use the word disagree because there's nothing really to disagree on. They're just going to see it differently. And that's fine. That's great. That's just wonderful. And that's how it should be, sure. But we all have common bonds, too. And we really should look for some of the similarities that we all have rather than just the diversities. A party like this really helps to help each other find those similarities. We had been going to school all year long in our little classes, doing our little things, and other than a few times in the year, we never got together all like this. This is not like going out to a nightclub. We've spent our lives together, these people. We've spent our lives together. And we know each other, and now we're blowing off some steam. Nukes. So anyway, I was saying on some of the other videos, why was I doing this? No one else was. Why? Something in me just directed me in this direction. This is what I was interested in. I could have been dancing. I could have been drinking beers. I could have been socializing. I could have been philosophizing. I could have been doing whatever I wanted. But I was videotaping. It went with my personality. What came first, the chicken or the egg? I don't know. Did my personality choose this, or did this help change and develop my personality? I don't know, but I know they're interlinked in some way. It just was a natural thing. I chose video, and video chose me. I chose observation. Observation chose me. What's the ultimate comment going to be that I'm going to make with my life after all this observation? I make a lot of comments, but they, as one, aren't really an ultimate comment. Somehow my ultimate comment is going to be developed from the whole, from the totality. I'm like a bat using sonar. A comment that I make on a given day reflects out in front of me and then bounces back off of my environment and reveals to me. So I must comment constantly, sending that signal out using that sonar. I must comment constantly in order to get that back. But that's not the artistic comment that will define me and my life. That is just my apparatus. And knowing this helps me to use the apparatus as I was meant to, as I was designed to. If anybody looks for the totality of my vision in my comments, what you're doing is you're finding out the totality of my sonar apparatus. You'll never find the totality of my vision. You're only looking at the apparatus that I'm using to create the totality of my vision, and only I can know the totality in the end. And I hope to share that in a very, very powerful way. And whatever I ultimately do with that final statement, with that final collective body of work or statement, I can rest assured now, even now, that it's going to be vastly different than anyone else. And something inside of me is driving me toward that ultimate goal, even when I'm quiet, even when I'm not thinking about it, even when I'm going on hunches or inklings or pre-assessed points of view that I had made earlier, or whatever. When the collective sonar imagery of the world that surrounds me and the universe and the mind and the hearts of all that I encounter finally have become the ultimate detailed picture for me, that's when I'm going to start revealing the whole thing.
With no canvas, subscribe right now.